Have you ever experienced something unusual? Something that you'll never forget? Something that terrifies you to this day? Maybe something that fits into a completely different category than everything else you've experienced. That's how I would define it. For me, I had this experience when I was around 7 years old. At this time, my grandmother worked as a caretaker for those who could not take care of themselves. In this case, she took care of a very old woman who led a very eventful life named Dorothy, who we all called Dot at that time. Dot was nearing the end of her life and in turn was unable to walk around, talk, etc. Now Dot had her own house that she lived at where my grandmother took care of her. And one day, my grandmother offered for my sister and I to spend the night there with her. Of course we accepted and had her parents drive us to the house. I'll spare you the details of our day there. I want to say that the time was around 10 p.m., but I can't confirm that. We wanted to watch a movie before we went to bed, and the only TV was in one of the bedrooms. So we went in there to watch the movie. I think it was Lilo and Stitch, the sequel. Anyways, after the movie was done, my sister came up with an idea. She told me she was going to make some puppets and perform a show for me. She started getting pencils, tissues, rubber bands, and a marker, and she started bunching up some tissues and stuck them on a pointy side of the pencil. She then wrapped another tissue around the entire bulk to cover it up. She took a rubber band and tied the outer tissue tight to the pencil and used the marker to draw a face on it. She made multiple puppets like that, and eventually we had a ghost, a witch, and some other creature. Keep in mind that it was around October and Halloween was approaching. Now was the time for the show to begin. Or at least, that's what we thought. She picked up 2 of her puppets and had one in each hand. She had a voice for each one of them and moved her hand every time they talked. But before she was able to complete the first scene, we heard something that changed our lives. We heard the voice of a little girl say the words, "Help me." Total silence after that. We could not believe our ears. Did we actually hear this? We looked at each other for glances of approval, and what made matters worse is that we both acknowledged it. Whatever it was, we both heard it. We both knew it was there, and we both were scared out of our minds. Not only was this voice incredibly disturbing to hear, but the fact that it came from the corner in the room where nothing was there, it disturbs me. We were frozen for about 5 seconds until our instincts told us to get the hell out of there. We ran as fast as we could for our grandmother's protection. Even as I think about this now, I'm looking in the corner of the room and waiting for something to happen. I also completely believe that if this never happened, I would not think ghosts are real, or whatever it was. Once we reached our grandmother, we told her about what happened. We told her about the voice in the corner of the room and how scary it was. Her only response was, "Oh, that happens all the time." Honestly, I just think she liked to scare us. She also told us on other occasions that when she sleeps in the house, she can feel the dead people pressing against her in the bed, or to not pull the chain of the cemetery, or all the dead bodies will fall out of their coffins. Now there may be claims to what this voice could have really been, so this section is going to be dedicated to that. Let's call it Debunking the Debunks. So first off, could the voice have been from the old woman that my grandmother took care of? Well, I would say no. This is because the voice came from the corner of the room that was farthest away from where the old woman was. I also have never heard her speak words before in my entire time knowing her, and I have only heard her voice as sounding like an old woman. I've heard like grunts from her. It's just like an old woman, not a little girl. This voice did not match hers at all. Could my sister have pranked me with the voice? Well, judging from her reaction, I saw true fear. If she would have pranked me, it probably would have been more obvious from her. Also, we still talk about this in the present. I think if it was a prank, she would have spilled the beans at some point. And the third question, what if the voice came from outside? Well, first off, I haven't really heard of people just being outside in the middle of the night, outside of a window saying, "Help me," in a little girl's voice. And second, we didn't hear it from outside. It obviously came from inside of the room, like it was such a crystal clear voice, like directly in the corner. Now that we've debunked the debunks, I think it's time to wrap this up. If you've ever encountered a paranormal activity or situation like this, leave a comment down below and tell me your story. I'd be happy to read it. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.